Hello everybody and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we're going to be making this letter F square, F for February. We had a J square for January and we've now got an F for February. So it's going to be made using these really cute little popcorn stitches, which I will show you how to make. Can you see those little tiny bubbles there? And single crochets, and then it's got a half double crochet border. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I've done it all in one colour. You might want to do a different colour border. That's entirely up to you. Let's get started. Grab some yarn, grab your hook, and let's get started. Okay, so I've got my slip knot and it's time to get started. So we're working in rows this time, when we go back and forth along the rows. So we want to make a chain, and you want to make a chain of 23. Chain of 23. And when you've done your chain of 23, I will see you back. Pause the video and make a chain of 23. Okay, so my chain of 23. Now we're only going to be working into 22 of these, but we need to have one as our turning chain. Okay, so at the end of every row, we will do a chain one before we turn our work over. Okay, so then you need to miss the first chain, so not this one on your hook, but this first chain here. You need to miss and go into the second chain from your hook and do a single crochet, and then you want to do a single crochet into the next. And you're going to work down and do 22 single crochets all the way along your chain. So this is going to be your foundation row. Okay, so 22 single crochets all the way along, and I will see you back when I've done those. Okay, so 22 single crochets along your chain, and now, as I said, at the end of each row you want to do a single crochet, and this is just for our turning chain, so that we're at the right height for our stitch. So turn your work, and then if you can see this very first stitch here, so if you pull your chain to the side, this very first stitch here is where you're going to go into. Okay, and that's your first stitch. That's one, and then go along 2, 3, and you want to do another 22 chains. But sometimes, if you're not used to working single crochets, if you're not used to working in rows like this, the very last stitch can sometimes be a bit tricky. You've got these kind of knobbly bits going on. So do 21 and I will meet you back to do the 22nd single crochet together. Okay, so you've done 21. Now when you do single crochet, it doesn't like to curl a bit, but by the time we've got the rest of our rows added on, it won't curl as much. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now you've done 21 and you can see this funny knobbly bit at the bottom here, and you know you've not finished because you've only done 21, and also you can see that you still have some of your row left. But where is that stitch? It can be a bit tricky to identify. Now if you turn this over, you should be able to see just here, if I can show this on camera, just here there are 2 bars, 1, 2 bars there. That is your stitch. So what you need to do is, as always, wiggle your hook under those bars. You might need to use your finger or a nail and just wiggle them under. Wiggle that hook under those 2 bars, so you should have 2 bars, there we go, on your hook from those that stitch. Okay, and that's your stitch. This little bit at the end here, this is your turning chain, so don't go into that. Okay, so into that one, pull through and do your stitch, she says. There we go. And then you can see now you've got a nice straight side. So there's your second row, 22 single crochets. So do a chain one, ready to turn your work, and now you need to do 2 more rows of single crochet. So another row, 22 single crochets all the way along, chain one, turn your work, and another row of 22. And I'll meet you back after 2 more rows. So when you have completed your 4 rows of a single crochet, it's time for us to start the pattern for our letter F. So it is a lot of single crochets in this pattern, single crochets and popcorn, so there are going to be a lot of single crochets to do, which means a lot of counting as well. So you need to do, as always, your chain one to turn your row, and then you need to do 14 single crochets. Now I'm just going to do those single crochets, but I'm just going to remind you that up in the top right hand corner or just below, depending on what device you're using, you can slow the video right down and excuse me, don't forget you can always pause, catch up and rewind to repeat as well. So we're going to do 14 single crochets along here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this is now where the slightly more exciting stitch comes along. I'm going to do a popcorn. Now a popcorn, we're going to do a 4 single crochet popcorn. Okay, so we're going to do a popcorn stitch which involves 4 single crochets. So in the next stitch you want to do 4 single crochets. They're all separate stitches but into the same stitch. Okay, so 3 and 4 single crochets, and then just pull that loop up a little, go back to your first single crochet. Now if you're not quite sure which one it is, if it's got kind of caught up with the rest, you can just count back. So can we see that on camera there? Is it going to focus? Autofocus is great apart from when it doesn't focus. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop your hook back into this first stitch, and then you're going to pop it back into your original loop, pull that loop down, and then you're going to pull that loop through. Are going to pull that loop through. If it pops off the hook, well, we're just going to persuade it to go through, so we're going to pull that through there. Okay, pull that through there, and then we're going to do a chain one on top to close that stitch, and that is your popcorn stitch. Okay, there's your popcorn stitch, and then you're going to do the rest of the row of single crochets. So go into the next stitch and all the way along, working your single crochets just as you have on your previous rows. There we go, all the way along. Okay, so you've finished your row and you've got your first little cute little popcorn stitch. Can you see it on camera there? I don't know if you can see. There we go, you can see it from the top there. If you haven't started working yours yet, there we go. Okay, so what you're going to do for this next row is you're going to do a whole row of single crochet. So do your chain one and then crochet 22 single crochets all the way back along. just as you have in previous rows. So make your way along there, 22 single crochets. Don't forget this one in the top of your popcorn stitch. Okay, 22 single crochets all the way along, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, I've just stopped part way along my row just to mention about because we did the popcorn stitch and the chain to close it up, you've actually got an extra chain here, so don't get caught up with that because you'll end up having an extra stitch. So what I like to do is, I know that I did 7 single crochets after my chain, so when I work back I like to count 7 stitches. So I've counted 7 stitches here, I've done 7 stitches along, and then I know that the very next what looks like a stitch is actually my chain, okay, and then the next one will be the popcorn stitch. Okay, so miss that chain, and the next one will be the popcorn stitch. And if you're not quite sure, then count the rest. Remember, we did 14 at the start of this row, so we've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Okay, so that's how you know how many you've got and where your chain 1 is, to miss that one out. Okay, because if not, you're going to be adding stitches to your row, and then the next row won't work out quite correctly. Okay, so work to the end of this row, and then we'll be turning our work. Okay, see you in a moment, guys. Okie dokie, I've done that row and I've done my chain 1 and turned my work, and now you are going to repeat the row that we had with the popcorn stitch. So you're going to do 14 single crochets along, and then you're going to do your popcorn stitch. Now I will show you this popcorn stitch again, and then because there's several rows that repeat, I'll show you this popcorn stitch once more on the next row, and then I'll leave you to do the next few rows. So do 14 single crochets along, and then we'll do the popcorn stitch. Okay, so 14 single crochets, and now it's time for our popcorn stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch, just there, and then you're going to do 4 single crochets into this same stitch. So 1 2 2 3 and 4 single crochets into that same stitch. Okay, you've got these 4 single crochets here, and then pull up this loop so you don't lose it. Pull up that loop, and then go into your first single crochet of this group. So 1 2 3 4. You see that? 1 2 3 4. I'm just counting back into your first stitch. Pop that loop back on your hook and pull it down. There we go. So you've got the first single crochet on your hook plus your original loop, and then you're going to slip that loop through the first stitch, pull that tight, and then do a chain to close. And there you go, there's your next popcorn stitch right above your original one. So I'll pop this down here. You've got your 2 little knobbly popcorn stitches. If I can zoom in, can we see that there? There we go, 2 little popcorn stitches, and they're really cute. There we go, nice cute little bobbly stitches. Okay, so that's how you do your popcorn stitches. 4 single crochets, take out your hook and then into your first one and pull that loop through, and then do your chain. And then you're going to do, zoom out again, here we go, not in, let's zoom out, there we go. Okay, and then you're going to do your 7 single crochets along to finish the row. You don't need to watch me do that. So 7 single crochets along the row. Okay, and then as before, you're going to single crochet all the way back along, and don't forget, when you turn, do your chain, and then count your stitches back, 7 stitches, and then you'll know the next one is your chain. So avoid that and then go into the next stitch, which is your popcorn stitch, and then you've got 14 along. So 7, miss your chain, and then basically you've got the next 15. Okay, so you're going to do that, and then I'll meet you back at the other end. So we have our first 2 rows of popcorns. I think they're really cute, really cute. And now what we're going to do, we need to have 5 of these in a row, in a column, should we say column. These are rows, this is a column. So we need 5 of these on top of each other. So what you're going to do is repeat this row another 3 times. So you're going to turn your work, do 14 stitches, and then a popcorn, and then 7 stitches. So 14 popcorn. Don't forget to do that final chain. Then do 7. Turn your work, do a plain row of single crochet, and then turn your work, do another row of 14, a popcorn, and 7, and keep going back and forth with a plain row and a popcorn row until you've got 5 popcorns in above each other there. Okay, and I will meet you back when we've got 5 popcorns and a plain row on top. Okay, see you in a bit. So here we go, here's our row or column of our 5 little popcorn stitches. You can see them from the side there. You see it from the side? There we go. So 5 little popcorn stitches, and I've done my final plain row on top there. Well, not my final row, but there we go. And now we are going to do our next row, which is when we're going to do the part of the F that comes over, I don't know what you call that, the arm of the F. We'll call it the arm of the F. So do your chain 1 to turn, and then you're going to do 10 single crochet stitches. So 10 single crochets across. So do those 10 single crochets, and then I'll meet you back again. Okay, so 10 single crochets, and now what you're going to do, you're going to do 3 popcorn stitches, but you're going to do 1 single crochet in between each. So we'll do this together. Don't forget, you can slow it down either up there or down there. You can pause. Okay, so we're going to do we're going to do a popcorn stitch. So remember, that's our 4 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, pull up a loop, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just get you started on this row. Pull that down, and then pull that through that first loop, make a chain. Okay, and then you're going to do a single crochet next to that. So popcorn, then a single crochet. And then you're going to do a popcorn stitch in the next one, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the next, and then you're going to do a popcorn in the next, and your final popcorn should be then above this these 5. Okay, so do so you've got 1 popcorn, then a single crochet, another popcorn, single crochet, and another popcorn. Okay, and then you're going to do your final 7 single crochet along that row. Okay, and then you're going to do your row of single crochet back. So 3 popcorns with a single crochet in between, finish the row, and then work back, and I will meet you at the other end. Okay, so I've done that row, and I thought I would just help you work back along this row, because you've got your 3 popcorn stitches here, and just to help you along, to remember where to go in for your stitches so you don't end up creating more stitches, if you need that little bit of help there. So do your chain 1 to turn, do your 7 single crochets. You know you've got 7 there, so do 7 single crochets. And I'll see you after 7 single crochets. Okay, so you've done your 7 single crochets as we always do, and then you know that this next piece, I don't know if you can see it enough, but this next piece we know is actually your chain at the top of your popcorn stitch. Okay, so miss that chain, go into the next one, which will be the top of your popcorn stitch, do your single crochet there, and then you know you've got a single crochet in between, so you can do that one, that's fine. And then the next loops that you have, you know that's your chain, so go into the next one, and that will be the top of your popcorn stitch. You've got a plain one in between, so go into that. So again, the next one will be your chain, go into the one next to that, and then you should have 14 stitches left. Let's just double check, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sorry, yes, 10. We have 10 stitches. So that's how you just need to work your way back systematically about whether it's popcorn or a chain, and just count your way back so you know that you're going into the right stitches. Okay, so do these 10 stitches back and I will meet you at the end of the row. So we've done the arm of our F, letter F, and now we need to do a couple more of this body. Should we call it the body? This is the body, this is the arm, and then we'll have the hat going across. I don't know. Is there an official term? So what you need to do now is you need 2 more of these bobble rows, popcorn rows. So you're going to do your 14 and then your popcorn and then your 7 and then work back, and then do another row, 14, popcorn, 7, and then another row back, and then I'll meet you ready for our final popcorn row. So 2 more of these rows, okay, and then I'll meet you back. Don't forget to do a plain row in between. And so here's what we've got going on. We're nearly there, guys. I know single crochet can seem very tedious and take a while, but it's worth it in the end. So here we go. So what we've got going on so far. So now we are going to do a chain 1 and turn our work, and then you want to do 4 single crochets, just 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and now this is the, I think this is why it's called the hat of the F. So you're going to do 6 popcorns. Okay, so you're going to start with a popcorn here, and then just as you did down below for the arm, you are going to do 3, do 1 more. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do 6 popcorn stitches with a stitch in between, just like you did down here. So you'll do a popcorn and then you'll do a stitch next to it, and then you'll do another popcorn, and then you'll do another stitch next to it, and you'll do 6 of these along. Your 6th popcorn will end here above all these others, okay, and then you'll do your usual 7 single crochets, and that will be the end of your letter F. And then you just need to do 2 more rows to finish the square. So you need to do these 6 popcorns, work your way back. Remember what I said about count your 7, and then you know the next one will be your chain, and then the next one will be the popcorn stitch itself, and then go into the next one, and then you'll know the next one will be a chain. Work your way along like that systematically, and you will reach the end, and then you'll do a chain of 1, turn it and do a row back. Okay, and I will meet you when you've done your final 2 plain rows. Okay, so there is my F completed, and my two, just giving these a bit of a squeeze to push them out a bit. After my two plain rows, I forgot to say you actually need to do 4 rows because we did 4 rows down here. So just to make it even, you just need to do 2 more rows, and that will be the last of your single crochet rows, guys. 2 more rows, and that's the end of your single crochets. So that is now our F completed, and I think it's really cute with these little popcorn stitches. Now this doesn't quite, with the hook size that we've suggested, it doesn't come up to the 6 inches or 15 centimetres. So what we are suggesting for this is that you do a border of a half double crochets, so that will be 22 half double crochets along the top. And we've actually got 22 rows here, so there will be 22 half double crochets along the sides. So if you look along the sides, you'll be going into every chain loop along the sides, okay, or single crochet stitch. So 22, so count them along, and then 22 half double crochets along the bottom, and 22 back along the top, the sides, sorry. So if you have a looser tension and it's already the size you wish, then fab, go ahead, and you will probably want to block this square because it likes to curl up. So I'm going to do that round of half double crochets now, and I'll show you the result at the end. So there we go, guys, there it is with the half double crochet border, and I've just done, I think I did a chain to take it around the corners. You could do 3 half double crochets in the corners if you wish, and it is just about the right size now, so just with a bit of blocking, a bit of stretching, it will be exactly the right size. And I've just gone from behind and just pushed my popcorns out to make them stand out a bit more. So there you go, there's your F for February, and what a great month it's been. It's been full of pink and red and valentines and hearts and all those gorgeous things. So there you go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this square. If you have found this video useful, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, click on that subscribe button, and all the details of our group are in that description box below. We'd love to see your squares, we'd love to see photos, and you can get all the patterns and daily uploads of the new squares. So until next time, guys, just keep hooking and do not let your tea get cold.